So there's so many people who have been written off by others because they're not. This is like this. I didn't know this existed. I am a neurosurgeon, but I didn't know I could stop this tremor. I went on my own and figured it out and came back, and then I realized now I have to reach out to people. But it's a clear message I want to communicate that functional neurosciences is the heading. We are moving from structure to function. Functional neuroscience means neuromodulation with advanced neurorehabilitation done together in a very, very systematic way. You have to have a systematic process for that. You can't shoot in the dark because you have to be clear. You should be as clear as daylight. You should be very, extremely clear, and it has to be in a methodical way with a team of people. It can't be done by one person. See, this building teams is the hardest part. We're all individually we are great champions, but converting a team of champions into a championship team is very difficult. In fact, I can tell you one joke, one riddle to drive this point home. This happened when my son was 7 years old. He's 22 now. So one day my son told me, "Papa, I want to ask you a riddle." I said, "Ask." In front of 5 different other friends were there. I said, 4 intelligent people were going in a car. The car got stuck in a muddy puddle. Everybody got down and started pushing. The car didn't move. Why? Was the question of a 7-year-old to a neurosurgeon. And you know how we adults are. We think about complicated answers. We say, the brake was put, this and that, all sorts of stuff. He said, no. Anything I said answer, he said, no, no. I said, I gave up. I said, tell me the answer. He said, 2 were pushing from the front, 2 were pushing from the back. And I think this is happening all the time. Don't you agree? All the time. Because all of us feel it is below our ego to ask somebody else what's going on. Can we do things together? Oh, let him come and ask me. I'm too big. That's the truth of the process. And he is thinking, who is this fellow to think? What does he think of himself? Let him come and ask. In that process, your wheel is turning in this direction, that fellow's wheel is turning in some direction. It's not happening. So unless we all are able to put our individual egos in our pockets and work for the larger good and get consumed in that process, the magic and the earth life-changing innovations, research and things cannot happen. And that's what I believe in. And that's what we are trying to create. We are trying to attract the right kind of people with the right mindset, with the focus to make this happen. And at the end of the day, money will follow. There's enough money in the market. But you should do the right thing. Don't look at the money. Chase the dream. The money becomes a byproduct of what I'm doing, and you'll get enough of it. I can tell you that very, very honestly. There's so many things our patients need, innovations. For example, if a patient is lying in the ICU, the foot movement has to be done. There's so many things. I already have about more than 100 ideas that we have to create. So we have to run our own engineering company step by step. We're trying to do all of that. So a couple of things we have done already is a rehab treadmill, for example. Now, a rehab treadmill is not available made in India. Because what's the only difference between the regular treadmill and the rehab treadmill is, rehab treadmill has to go slowly. This is going kilometers per hour. This has to go meters per hour. Because my patient puts one step and starts thinking. Slowly puts another step and starts thinking. And by the time he'll fall down in the rehab treadmill. So because it has to go slowly and forward, backward, and there's no market for this, nobody's making it, they're importing at 14 lakhs. So thanks to Harsha from Mysore, he built a rehab treadmill for me. And we are building it at 1/3 the cost. It's like that. And we are still, we have still got 2 prototypes. Now we've got some learnings from that. We are trying to build the 3rd one and then look at commercializing it. It worked very well. Patients are extremely happy. They can see that they can get into a rhythm of walking, slowly getting into the treadmill. The treadmill goes forwards and backwards. The other thing we have built is something called a body weight support harness. So it's initially when the patients have had a stroke or a weakness in the leg and they can't stand on their own feet because their legs are weak, what happens is normally when they're made vertical, there's somebody holding on this side, somebody holding on that side, then with the hand around their neck or something, and then patient is wobbling and standing. And Murphy's law, one fellow is taller, one fellow is shorter and taller, and they're trying to, the patient is standing like this, and if the patient is 90 kilos, by the time they lift up, the caregivers are having back pain, so many things, and sometimes the patient can lose balance, and then he's got this fear of falling. Some of them have fallen, and now once they fall to our neuro patients, they will never get up again. This fear of fall, in fact, we run a fear of fall program for so many elderly people and neuro patients who have this fear of having already fallen or know somebody else who has fallen. So so there's a concept called body weight support harness that's available in the West, quite expensive. So we built our own body weight support harness, which is called Walk Free. It's just a prototype right now. Worked very well. The harness moves with the patient as he moves. So that what happens is, so when my patient is put on the harness and is made vertical, now nobody has to hold him, her. So my therapist has 360-degree access to the patient. So he can actually look at the leg, look at this, make him move and things like that. So I think that's a very cool way of trying to take the pressure off the caregivers and the patients, and yet give the patient the confidence that this is possible to be done. So we have a lot of things in the pipeline that we want to do, both using VR, AR, and also using softwares and things like that for games to rebuild the circuits in the brain and things like that. So we are in the process of doing all of that. So that's the innovations that we are looking at, for sure. And for training and we want to add fun into games. Others patients get bored doing the same movement every day. No, doctor, I don't know why it's going on like that. When you tell them that, when you play a game, everybody in a game, there's winning, there's losing, there's getting better and things like that. So gamification of rehab is very real, and that's what we also want to be one of the people who gamify it in India. Because most of the international games available is too Western. So the Indians don't relate to those games. So we are trying to Indianize them by giving Indian specific situations. So but gamification of rehab is the future, and we want to be pioneers and leaders in that.